Hello, my name is Bobby Fisher, and it is my pleasure to bring you the first in a series of IronCAD USA productivity webinars. Our first today is going to be on how to increase your productivity tenfold using the IronCAD single model environment. And we're excited to show this to you. As I've mentioned in the past, I'm somewhat allergic to PowerPoint, so I'm going to be in this very shortly and we'll get it. I want to introduce you first to the IronCAD USA team. This is your group of elite resellers who are going to help you work with you to deliver the results that you need. I'll briefly go into what is the single model environment, how it works, and most importantly, how it helps you and how I can prove to you that it can increase your productivity tenfold. And finally, you're not alone. We will help you make it happen. This is the IronCAD USA team today, and we have other resellers throughout the nation who are working with us. These are the lead group. My name is Robert Fisher, Bobby Fisher, to those who know me, and I reside in California. I have Joe up in Washington, and he's been with IronCAD for many years and has a wealth of information. Igor over in Minneapolis with Eureka Tech, and Matt Tuckfield down in the Tennessee area. This is your group of resellers who will work with you to help train, but let's get right into what is the single model environment, how it can increase your productivity tenfold. The IronCAD single model environment enables the creation of 3D products in a truly collaborative way. Using IronCAD, you can easily develop, review, and share detailed 3D parts, assemblies, and drawings. So let's go right into the product and see what this actually means to all of us. So here we have an IronCAD scene set up for us. And one of the things I want you to notice right from the very beginning is you have a ribbon bar here on across the top, but you'll notice I'm showing it to you now, the surfacing, assembly sheet metal, the home ribbon, all these wonderful tools for doing 3D design, but I'm not going to use them because I won't need to. I want to show you again how this single model environment actually works. And let's start off by creating a mounting plate, and I'll show you how easy that is. We're an inch. I'm going to pick up an object and drop it into the middle of the screen using the left mouse button and simply say, well, I've brought in a 3D cylinder. If I click on that, I can now alter the size of the cylinder simply by saying, oh, I want this to be 6 mil. And quite frankly, how high might I want this to be? Well, looking at it now, I think I'm going to have this exactly maybe a 1/2 inch. And once that's actually the first part that I wanted to create. That's the back plate of the mounting flange, and I need to put a boss on here. So I'm just going to simply drag apart. Notice I'm using the left mouse button and I simply drag to the center. And when I drop it, it brings up another IntelliShape that lets me say, Bobby, how big should this be? It should be 2 inches. This front boss should be 2 inches by 2, and now it has automatically joined these two together. Notice there's no sketching. You know, I don't really like that's a little bit long. I'm doing some conceptual modeling. Make this only 1.5 inches. By the way, if I don't like to type in, I can drag this manually this way and then get it into position and then give it the fine tweak that I want. Now I want to put a bolt circle, and this is kind of interesting here. I want to be able to pop in a bolt circle around the outside of this, and so I'm just showing you how that's going to work. Get those points off there. And I do that, you notice we've dragged first a positive shape being this one. We joined another positive shape to it. Well, now in this single model environment, let's grab a negative shape and simply put that at the center. Notice it finds it of our part. Oh, 0.8, no, I want this to be 0.5 inches by how deep should it be? Make this hole also 0.5. So now I've got a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch hole in the middle of my part. I don't want it in the middle. I want it to be out here. That allows me to introduce something quite remarkable, which is the IronCAD patented tool called the tri-ball. And I'm going to use the tri-ball in the simplest way I know how. I'm just going to pick up this handle and I'm going to hold down the left mouse and I'm going to pull it out. Almost, nope, I want it to go out full 2.5. Perfect. That's exactly where I want this bolt circle to start. Now notice we're not sketching. I'm just simply using the geometry that's there. And I'm going to use the tribal again. And this time I'm going to use the space bar, tap, unlock it, and now, move it to the center. Lock it again, and this time I want to create a pattern. How? Simply by using the right mouse button. Anytime I use the right mouse button in IronCAD, it brings up a menu. Go ahead and create a pattern for me. How many holes do you want? I want 12 holes. And what's the angle? I don't know. 360 divided by 12. Excellent. Done. I have now completed my first part. So single model environment. I need another part. I need the rear flange. How would I do that? Well, let me just paint this for a moment. I'm going to paint it this color. And now let's put another one in the back. How do we do that? How do we add something to this? Well, gosh, I want to create something based on this. So I'm going to use my extrude wizard. This is the first time I'm going to a menu, but I'm still not going to sketch. I'm going to come in and say, where do you want to start this new part? Here. Do you want a standalone? Yes, that's what I want. I don't want to add material. I want a new part. And it asks me, okay, no, I don't want to do any of those things. Oh, I want a 1/2 inch. What's the distance? 1/2 inch. Excellent. That's all I need. Done. So now it says, Bobby, what are you trying to do? Well, I just want to take the geometry from this. That's what I want to use for my next part. Okay, great. It says, that's what you asked me to do. Use that geometry to create another part here. Single model environment. Now I can just start drawing on this new part. Well, I want this to be 3 by 2. Excellent. So now I've got the front flange, rear flange. Notice that it picked up the holes. They're in good position. Oh, I need these to have a hole going through them. So let me see. Drop this in here. How wide do I want it to be? Oh, 2.5. Excellent. And how deep should it go? I don't really know. You know what? I want it to go to the back of the flange. So that's right here. Just touch it, hold the shift key, and it finds it. Oh, I need a hole on this side too. Doesn't matter. Forgot to do it before. I'll come back and do it now. Remember, I made that too. But if I forget, all I have to do is come out like this and stretch it and say, how big is that? Oh, that's 2. I want it 1.5. Good. And how deep should it go in? Oh, just come right to, oh, moving it around. Silly me. Don't do that. I want you to grab this handle right here. I don't want you to move the whole thing around. And I want to pull this all the way into the part right there. And now it's cut. Oh, not quite. Let's see if we can get it to cut all the way through. Oh, you know what? I'm not even going to be too careful with it. Go ahead and cut all the way through. I've got one on this side, one on this side. Excellent. That's what I wanted. And now this is my next part. Let me make this a different color. I'm just painting them so I can see. Excellent. Now, no sketching up to this point. Let's put a cap on here. Now, that allows me to show you another marvelous feature of this product, and that is using the drag and drop. I'm simply coming in now with the right mouse button instead of the left, and it says, do you want to add a feature to this? No, I want a new part. And so what I'm going to do now is come in and say, I want you to take this part. How wide should it be? I want this to be 3.
This conference will now be recorded.
So now what I want to do is I really want to take this and I want to make it slightly larger than that. Conceptual design. Yep, make it 3.5. And from the front, I want it to stick out about 1/4 inch. And back here, if I zoom in, you know, this, I want to pull this maybe 0.75. So there's my cap sitting on. But, you know, if I look at the cap now and say, just show that, oh, there's no hole, there's nothing there. So show me everything. Same idea again. I want to extrude right there. I need to now remove material using this wizard. And how much material do I want to use? Get rid of 1/2 inch. Good. And what are you trying to get rid of? Well, I really want to cut out this shape. And good enough, in that one quick thing, I was able to say, good, there, I've done that. Excellent work. So I've got my part, show me everything again. And remember, I haven't had to go in and find a lot of menus. I'm creating this geometry. So what about holding this together? Let's go grab one more interesting part from our catalog, and let's go grab a tool out of here. And I need to fasten this together. So let's grab a fastener out of our library that's included with IronCAD. And well, what are you trying to get? I want a screw. What kind of screw? I would like a socket head, yes, just like this. And how big should it be? Gosh, give me a socket 1/2 inch and make it 1 inch long. Good, excellent. I know that it's an inch part. So now here's an interesting idea. The new part dropped on a pattern. Yeah, go ahead, put it on. Wonderful. There's a time-saving device for me. And I notice now, excellent, I've held this all together. Last thing before I finish, though, I noticed that I didn't do any. These are sharp edges. Let me come in and maybe do a tiny bit of little work just to get this ready for manufacturing. Simply come in, right-click, chamfer this edge, maybe 15 thou edge break there. I just don't want sharp corners, and I'm going to do it there. I'm going to leave that sharp. And no, you know what? Good enough, done. And if there are any other edges, I can go ahead and I've now chamfered those edges beautifully. Do I want us to do the same thing in the back? Well, maybe I might do that. Come in and say on this edge, chamfer as well, here, and back edge as well. And what about, I can't see this one. How do I get at it? Oh, again, which edge do I want? This part number, yeah, it's the second part I made. Go ahead, even though I couldn't see it, go ahead and put that on the edge on for me. That reminds me of something else. Now, these parts that I've just been creating in this single model environment, I can now come in and say, I'm ready to release this and create a drawing. Oh, this is the front flange. Only now am I going to actually name these. Excellent. This, well, that's easy. That's the rear flange. And this one was simple as well. This was our cap, made up the cylinder and a simple extrude. Nice, like that. So the cap, what is it? And now, how difficult is it to create an assembly in IronCAD? Well, let me just see. Select all this, including my pattern, of course. And we want all of these things. Good. Put them all together and say, assemble that. We now have one assembly that's great. It's our plate assembly. Good. So this is our assembly. That's how difficult it was to create that. Once I've saved the plate assembly, go ahead and save it. Might have one. Good. This is now done. What about communicating with the outside world? Well, excellent. Let's go create a drawing, multiple drawings of these. I want you to start off, give me a drawing of the scene, the plate assembly, the cap, front and rear flange, and I might as well have one drawing of, the socket that I made, socket head cap screw. Go ahead, create this for me. And now with literally one button click, I am getting all of the drawings that I need. Let's take a look at what this has given to me. Oh, there's the actual scene that we've got going. What else do we have? There's the cap, there's the full assembly. Oh, the front flange, rear flange, excellent working. The actual bolt that we brought in, all this is excellent. So it's put all of these things into our, hey, I need to move you up a little bit. Excellent, out of the way. And there I have my drawings created very, very quickly. Oh, I just realized something. I want to take a look at this. And as I'm looking at this particular part, I see there was a bill of material done for me. Oh, I didn't put a part number in. I actually put a part name. So yeah, go grab the part name for me. Excellent. And put it right there. So, what did I call these things? And oh, there's the cap, rear flange. It'll find all those. I didn't give it a number, so I don't really need that column. But I do want to know how much these things weigh because I need to do some costing. So how can I do that? Double click, give me the mass or the weight of this part. Excellent. And you know what? I don't really need a description because I didn't add a description. Good. This is, well, what happens if I go back to my scene, just like that from the drawing? And I didn't put any material in here. So, well, how would I add that? Single model environment. Come into my materials. I need some steel. 1018 cold roll. That's what this is going to be. Thank you. And the back flange, I know somebody told me for some reason it's a bronze, and this is manganese. Bronze can be expensive part. And the cap is made out of brass. So let's go see what, yep, low-leaded brass. That I've now added these materials. And what happens when we go back into our drawing? Simply by coming into the drawing, it says, Bobby, this needs to be updated. So go ahead, update the views. And whenever I look directly here, it says cap, oh, and what are all these different? Yep, there's all the weights, the masses, everything is in. So very quickly, without being in any particular mode, we were able to create this assembly. And as you can see, one last thing I want to show you, which I think is quite marvelous. I'm going to grab the assembly now and say, well, what would happen if I wanted to open it up? So I'm going to say, open this and store the positions. Great. So I'm now in the open position. I'm going to use my tools and say, go ahead, explode this whole assembly for me. I'd like to see, how that happens. So it's moving all these shapes. Double click. Oh, excellent. So it exploded these into a position. And now when I go back to the drawing, well, this hasn't changed because quite frankly, I didn't do anything, but I have this capability now where I can say, oh, show this to me in an exploded configuration. And very quickly you can see I've got all of these parts all done in a single model environment. This is the whole idea behind single model, is that you manage the design the way you think with intuitive, instinctive design tools, single model. I didn't need to have a separate mode for part and assembly modeling. Didn't need it at all. I just thought about designing parts. I didn't need to insert parts from a different file. Came out of a catalog and I built it. I didn't need any reference parts unless I defined them. And I had no need for part numbers or naming until release. So we really believe, truly believe, that IronCAD's single model environment delivers much better 3D design, and we'd love to prove it to you. So we're going to help make it happen. What we would like you to do, we feel that many people can become very comfortable with IronCAD in hours and days. It's not something that takes weeks to learn or months to learn or even years to learn. It's something that can happen quite quickly. And we'd like to give you a challenge, and we're here to help you. If you would like to download our 30-day trial and take our free training course, you can test IronCAD for yourself. I'd like to thank you very much. It's been my pleasure to show you really why we as a group believe that this way of working does give you a much better opportunity for better 3D design. Thank you. We appreciate your attention. Oh, I've got a question now. Let me just take a look. Gary from Indiana, what if I want parametrics? Well, we offer the best of both worlds. If I looked at this particular part that we've just created here, and I go back into the assembly. Oh, and any time, by the way, I don't want to be in the open configuration. I could just come in and say, I need to close this, open it. This gives me a way of really controlling how this works. And if I go back into this particular part here, you can see at any time.
This conference will now be recorded.
I can go back at any time and close it up again, as you can see here, just by going into this different. And I can go back and make any changes I want, or I could go back into the original design of this and say, I'd like to edit this. I want to edit this part. Everything that we've created has the associative geometry at any time. We can go in and add parameters, any of the type of thing, and work the way that you would like to work. If there are no further questions, thank you very much for your attention. It was my pleasure to bring you IronCAD's single model environment. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.